Alrighty, hello internet, Wolfman Doom Gaming here, and welcome to The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. I'm just gonna play this for a little bit. This isn't gonna be a full-blown series. I'm just playing this for the heck of it. I was, having a little bit of nostalgia the other day. I was, listening to some, the music online of old video games, and I got kind of, emotional because I'm very much a nostalgia for me is a very big thing, and like many kids, growing up, Zelda 2 was nothing like the original Zelda. We all thought it was, and we got this RPG-esque Rambo kind of hodgepodge that I honestly can't say it's a bad game, it's just weird. But still, I'm still nostalgic for it. I mean, I never played this game as a kid. I actually had a memory of when I rented it one time. I forgot where from, but this is a weird game. It's definitely a weird game, but it's a good game. Not for a lot of people. A lot of people like still hate this game because it was definitely weird for the time it came out. When this game came out, obviously Zelda 1 was already a thing. Zelda 1 set a lot of staples on what's considered a Zelda game and what isn't. When Zelda 2 came along, it took all those things and just kind of blew them out of the water. But like I've heard multiple times, the main reason was because back when this game came out, the sequels weren't a huge thing like they are now. There wasn't a lot of games that had sequels to them. So when it came time to make a sequel to Zelda, it was like, what do they do? What do they make? Now, why they went with this over-the-head view is, your guess is good as mine. Ow. It's a weird thing. Like I said, there was another game around the time this came out. It was Rambo. For those who remember the Rambo NES game, which was not that good, but it had a very similar like 2D. Sugar. There was a bubble there. I goofed. I think the reason this game failed at the time it came out, I think because it was too advanced. It was just too ahead of its time. People just didn't know what to expect of it. I'm sure the people who saw it for what it was appreciated it. I mean, it's like, Nintendo has had a couple of games they wish people would just forget they even exist in the first place. But, this is how it is. Sometimes like the old saying goes, you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. And sometimes you make bad games and you learn from your mistakes, hopefully. Now, obviously, there hasn't been a second RPG Zelda ever, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Like, but I honestly can't say this game is a bad game. Is it great? No. Is it horrible? No. It was just, they wanted to do something different. There wasn't much to go on, and like I think playing this back whenever this came out, late 80s, early 90s, I'm not exactly sure. This was pretty advanced to go through these labyrinths, you know, like you're seeing outside. It is kind of crazy when you think about it. But at the same time, what we knew what Zelda to be and what we were given as a sequel kind of threw us off through a loop. I mean, I grew up playing Mario and Zelda as a kid. You know, I played the first Zelda to hell and back, and I played it so much, I could probably play it blindfolded if I wanted to. I don't know about that. So, yeah. And, this game just... It was a weird game. But no matter how weird it is, it's still... Every time. It's still nostalgia for me. It's still a game that's part of my past. It's part of my childhood. And it's one thing I really do like is that no matter how old you get, the certain games will never change. They'll always be the same thing, especially older games like this. You know, games, newer games, you know, they constantly update and change, and you go back and play it as an adult, and sometimes it'll be different from what you remember. But a game like this, it's a time capsule, really. This game's gonna be the same way long after I'm dead. Ow. I have a key. I don't have a key. Fudge. I don't have the life spell yet. That's the one thing this game did differently from other Zelda games. This game created not really magic, but made spells for you to use. Now, in the later games, you had spells. I think the game to bring it about was, was A Link to the Past, I think, had spells. Yeah. Well, no, it did. I mean, but like, it was the first game I've seen in a long time that had spells. A Link to the Past had, like, the Bamos Medallion and all that. But, so this game did that differently. It brought around, magic and brought about some kind of strategy and a certain way to do things. You couldn't just go into a labyrinth and just beat it. You had to do it in a certain way, and you had to know the tricks and all the little secrets. And it was just, it was too weird for people to understand at the time. I can't imagine. I mean, I grew up playing the original Zelda, so I mean, I kind of understand, but I wasn't old enough to understand the grand picture of it, you know, of like playing Zelda 1 and then be like, oh, this is Zelda 2, and then buying Zelda 2 with my hard-earned money to have bought this. I can't imagine. And like, that's the thing, like back then, like I said, the sequels weren't a thing like they are now. There wasn't, you know, 3 games in this series. A lot of times, a lot of games were a one-off thing. And I think, you know, Mario and Zelda were going to be no different. It was just they connected with players, I don't think, in ways Nintendo ever thought was going to happen. That's one thing that Nintendo has been trying to redo. They've been trying to recapture the magic that this game brought about. Well, the original brought about, I mean, that sense of being lost and exploration. And they have been able to recreate it. Breath of the Wild kind of had it. I say kind of because it it had a lot of feeling of like the original Zelda, where like, okay, you're in a new world, figure it out. But there's still a lot of ways, there were still a lot of planned events, and then things were still kind of, you had to do this a certain way or you're gonna die. So there wasn't really, I'm not saying this is the only example, but like, Breath of the Wild was good, and it did have that feeling that the original Zelda had, but not in the same way. There was something. The more I played Breath of the Wild, the more there was something lacking about it, and I don't know what that was. There was something that it didn't carry from the original. I honestly can't say what that was. Oh good, they're still dead. I was getting a little worried for a second. I mean, I love Breath of the Wild. I played Breath of the Wild for a year straight. But the more I played it, the more it didn't feel right. I mean, half because I'm a jaded adult, and magic and mystery, once I figure things out, there's no longer excitement to be had, so it could be a part of it. I don't know. But like, a lot of the reason that I did hear somewhere, the reason that the Breath of the Wild did do things different is that when they were making it, the team were going to do things the exact same way they've been doing it for years and years and years. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. But sometimes when things are stale for so long, they get boring because nothing new ever happens. Breath of the Wild changed enough to make it feel fresh, but kept enough the same to make it feel different. But after a while, the similarities and the differences worn off, and it just felt like the same old Zelda game I knew. Because like, once you were strong, and once death was no longer an issue, you know, exploring anywhere and trying to do anything was no longer an ordeal. It's like playing this, for example. The first time playing this, it was like, oh, you got beat these armored guys, and they're hard, and they still are hard. They'll whip your butt. The trick is to do the whole jumping slash technique, and it's like, you know, it's something you have to learn with trial and issue, you know, all that. As you can tell, I'm like trying to pay attention. I'm like, stupid. A horse with a mace. Or is it a morning star? Eep. Eep. Ow. There we go. Yeah. An extra key? No, okay. I thought I had an extra key for some reason. But this game was good in its own way. It did things different, but different isn't always a bad thing. Alright. Yeah, we got time to do a little bit more. It's late. It's 8:06. I have until 9 o'clock to get to bed. I called out of work today. My leg was bothering me. Sorry about that. I have been working so hard by myself, and I've just been running myself ragged. Both literally and figuratively. And you know, I'm just getting older. My body's breaking down, and kind of can't help that. And you know, I had to call to work. And you're not gonna kill me, that right? You're not gonna kill me. Dr. Rock. And then there's a boomerang guy in here. There we go. And having that will unlock the ability to get, I think, the life bell, which will help a lot. So, I did a recording before this. It got messed up. I actually did Animal Crossing for a bit, but for some reason the recording was corrupted. Well, not corrupted. It was what's the word? It was screwed up looking. The frame rate was horrible on it, and it was all blit looking. And I don't upload blit. I don't care, like, if I did something amazing, I don't upload blit. You know, the one thing I said before, one thing I try to do for you guys, if I can't upload, I try to upload decent content, you know? If I can't upload an amazing video, I at least want to upload a video that has at least something good about it. And the thing that's the easiest for me is to have a video that's at least good graphics, the shield spell. And if I can't have good graphics, and like I try to do the voice. I mean, I've got a new mic. Well, it's not new anymore, but it's still a nice mic compared to what I used to have. And, you know, I try to make decent videos for you guys. You know, it's all whatever. You know, I overthink things, I overprocess things, like it's overthinking. I don't mean to, it's just, you know, I guess in a way it helps to have something to focus on, something to put my energy into. And like, I have so many, because recently I've been trying to stream, like I said in one video, and for some reason streaming has been giving me issues, so streaming is kind of off the table for a while until I can figure it out. And you know, I can at least still record. You know, and if I can't do that, I don't know. I like making videos because it's a hobby to me, and it just kind of takes my mind off of everything for a while. And if I couldn't do this, I'd probably go slowly insane. You can jump very high. I'll probably do this section. I'll probably call it quits. Get through Death Mountain. Depending on how many likes and views this video gets, I might do another one. But you know, I'm just trying to do things different. I'm trying to do things random. I noticed that my Half-Life videos are getting less and less views, which I'm okay with. It's whatever. It happens. You know, people lose interest because it's just the same thing. If you guys are losing interest, then I'm not going to keep doing it. You know, it's just as simple as that. And, I would rather do multiple episodes and different things rather than the same thing, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna see what's going on with the video. If what I did recently just done any better. If not, then we're gonna do other things. Obviously, again, I'm getting distracted. I think on my last life too. Yeah, if I do that, then I'll be able to get out of here. Darn it. Yep. Oh well. Think we're think we're done. Oh, anyways, I want to thank you all for watching. I'm gonna figure things out. I got a lot on my mind. It's a lot of different things going on. Real life stuff that doesn't matter to anyone else but me. You know, it's just so we'll figure things out. All right, you guys take it easy. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.